Hey guys, welcome to another rig review. So that we have our second rig review, and a while back I did a video about the pose ghoster, and it was about a tool, a plugin in Maya that basically ghosts your poses as you animate, and it makes your life much easier. Now on that video I specifically used this rig that was basically the ghost biker, and the rig, obviously people were asking about what is that rig, where can I get that rig, and all that stuff, and in all honesty, it's an amazing rig. So in this video, I would like to actually specifically look at that rig, because the rig is made by a good friend of mine called Emilio Serrano, and he does some of the best rigs in the biz. It's about time for us to shine some light on his work, because he's been helping so many people and doing wonderful work out there. So let's look at the Ghost Biker a little bit closer, because I think you guys are going to like it. And I think, to me at least, it feels to me that is a rig that I would actually enjoy using a lot. I've been using it a little bit, and I highly recommend it. So let's do it. All right, so here we are in Maya with our good friend here, Ghost Biker. First and foremost, I really like the take on the biker. I mean, obviously he's inspired by the Ghost Rider that has a motorcycle, and this guy is basically his baby brother. He has a bike, a pedal bike, and it's so cool. He also looks way less mean than his big brother, the Ghost Rider. Look at that face. And he has the little chains with a spear, just like his big brother as well. Now, one of the things that I really like about this is how, like, the tires have flames on them. At first I thought it was actually like leopard skin, but actually it's flames. So whenever you spin them really, really fast, I'm guessing it just looks like, flames, which is really, really cool. Now, let's look at the rig from the bottom up, and do it in a way that you can actually look at the rig first and then the bike and the chains after. So I'm just gonna hide some stuff here, make sure that we can go ahead, and the chain and the bike, we're gonna put it on a display layer here. Then we're gonna hide them. We also need to hide the controllers, which is over here. And let me just see if I can find the specific controllers for the chain. Yeah, they are around here. So I'm just kind of like going through it, making sure that I can get to, fingers crossed, the bike and chain. Put those in the same layer as, okay. So now we have just the dude. Okay, so going from the bottom up, this first and foremost is an M Gear rig. M Gear, shout out to everybody working on M Gear, because it's a really good way for people to rig things, especially for people that are not super versed into rigging. Now, bear in mind that M Gear needs a plugin to go with the rigs. So if you open this rig without the M Gear plugin that you see here on the top, then what would happen is that the rig just collapses into like zero. So you will be all like just here at zero. The bike, the rig, the guy, everything is going to be just all clumped up at zero. So you need to make sure that before you actually open this rig, you install this M Gear plugin thing, and then open the rig. Otherwise it won't work, right? So I'll leave a link down below for both. Do make sure that you install the M Gear plugin before you open the rig. Now, when it comes to the rig, let's start here from the bottom, because Amelia did a really awesome job here. So like on the main controller, you have the visibility of each element. So I could actually go here, then just like make sure that they are on and off. I should have done that instead. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that the bike is off, and also the whip is off. Sorry, I'm actually too old school, and I immediately go to actually like add it to visibility layers. But as you can see here, Emilio already made it easy for you to hide things. So that's that for that controller. The controller above that one has different rotate orders. Now, unless you actually have specific needs to actually change the rotate orders, you can leave it as default. And then that is about it on that little section. you have here a reference. Now this is actually quite useful, right? This arrow here. So it might not mean a lot to most of you, but if you are working with this rig for a game project, then this becomes very much the controller that you use for the capsule of each character, right? So it's what the engine sees. This is what the arrow needs to be. So it doesn't do much here. If you're actually just animating it for your show reel, forget about it. But if you're exporting this for game and the character is moving forward, for example, make sure that this arrow keeps up with where the character is, so the capsule kind of like translates forward. I have a few videos about exactly what that capsule is and how it works and why it's important, but just know that the engine just sees that. They don't see the animations, they just see a capsule moving in space. So it's very important for you to make sure that that moves with it. When it comes to the feet, let's see what kind of like stuff we have here. So I guess here we have the regular FK IK blend. So it's either FK or IK, so you can see the controllers changing here, which is really cool. And then we have a roll controller right here. So it goes from side to side. I guess this is basically for the knee. Scale up the legs. I guess it has stretch. Max stretch, which is really nice. Gives you more or less stretch if you need to when you grab the leg and go down or up, which is really nice. So in this case, you have a little bit of stretch. And if you change that max stretch, then obviously you can get more or less of that stretch to kind of like relate to the leg. Okay, let me just go back a few steps. You have softness, reverse, roundness, and volume. So this is to do with volume of the leg. Makes complete sense. And then we have tweakers. This is really nice. So this means that if you actually have a funky like this, let's say, I'm just gonna like put the leg forward like this. It means that you can start bending the leg backwards, for example, and tweak it to make sure that you have a interesting shape for your leg that is completely different than what it was there before as you are tweaking this place. So it makes it rubbery, it makes it cartoony, and it makes you have way more control over what's possible with the rig. So these tweakers are really nice. Once again, use it only if you really need to, because I do know from experience that whenever you have extra controllers, you start finding ways to use those controllers. So if your animation doesn't need it, you're like, how can I actually add those controllers on top? Only use them if you really need it. As always in animation, the least controllers you have, the better it is, because it's less confusing and it's less work to clean up as well. So this is the tweakers, and then you have IK reference, global, pedal. Yeah, so this is basically the where you want the foot to be parented to. So either local or global, or in this case a pedal. We'll see it in a little bit how that actually relates to that pedal in the bike, but it's actually pretty awesome. And then I think here you have V reference, knee reference. I think this is to do with the same thing with the pedal as well. And then that's about it. You have some spring and dampening. I think this is also to do with making the animation a little bit more stylized. An angle. What is an angle? What is that? Oh, how high do you want the angle of the foot to go when you actually make it go up or down? That is really nice. Okay. So you have rotates here of the foot from side to side, and then you also have rotates up and down. This also has this nice, like almost like zipper-like rotate, which is really cool. Means that you don't have to have 3 controllers to move it. The way I was used to doing it, yeah, you rotate this bit first, kind of like this, and it goes up to a max, and then you have to rotate this one to then rotate a little bit more, and then you rotate this other one to actually make sure that it rotates a bit more. With this one controller, it means that you can actually rotate the whole thing, and it kind of just unzips really nicely. This makes walk cycles a breeze. It's really cool. Then it just rotates on the pivot right there as you go through. Really cool. Love that feature. It saves a whole bunch of time. Now, when it comes to the main controller here on the foot, this is the one where you translate it. You also have IK FK blend, so I guess you can control it from two different controllers. So it's basically a squash and stretch just for the ankle on this side. And you also have the tweakers right here, and you can also roll from side to side the ankle only, which adds a whole lot of detail to this rig. And then you have the controllers to rotate it. So I think these are the controllers that I was just talking about before. This is how I used to actually have to rotate the foot. So you do this, and then you do this again. And then you rotate the foot up, but with that unzipper or that roller actually allows you to have that much easier. This is still useful though, because if you actually want to break the foot for whatever reason, so I don't know, the guy had an accident and the foot goes this much, you would not be able to do it with the other controller because it's limited to the amount of a roll that you have. So this is still useful and gives you more props, more tools for you to actually use as an animator. Now here, going up, you have the usual rotates for the knees, and you also have local rotates for the knees. This is really nice. The fact that you have two, really cool. Sometimes you have to kind of like get this closer and get this to kind of like move in a certain way so you can get more or less rotates. But with this, it means that you can point the knee to a place, but then you can slightly tweak it overall if you need to, which is really cool. You get more options. More options are always good when it comes to animation. Okay, so we found that the knees and the feet are really detailed, which is beautiful to see. Now let's go up. And if you go up, then we start looking at these hips. Main control of the hips, you can change the rotate order, and that's about it. You have the ups and downs, which is really cool. I wonder if this chain can be... Oh, wait a second. We have an extra controller for the hip here, which is really cool. Look at that. And it doesn't snap either. It's very cool. Super smooth. Love that. Yeah, I wonder if this chain here has controllers as well that we can activate somewhere. We'll find out eventually. And then here we have control visibility on, tweak visibility off. So if you turn on the tweak visibility, there you go. Cable, control, and chain control visibility on. Okay, so we have two options, which is really cool. So the chain can be controlled like this. So this is, I'm sure this is a Nike chain, and then Emilio made it super easy for you to just like be able to move it around as you are walking, as you are doing your thing. A little bit of an overlap. Who doesn't like overlap in their animations? But if you want to have extra detail, then you can go ahead and get the tweak visibility on, and then you get an FK chain on top of an IK chain. So at this point, you can start manipulating the chain as you wish to make sure that it does exactly what you need. Once again, a lot of detail, a lot of control. It's great. So on the other side, I'm guessing this little pouch also has controls. So let's see, tweak visibility right there. And then we have control visibility, spring chain intensity. So whenever you animate the hips, it goes with it. And I'm pretty sure there must be some kind of like overlapping action here that happens when you walk. Oh, it's so cool. Very Emilio is so good at this rigging thing. So notice what happens when you move the rig right here. It's automatically overlapping. Look at that. See that? That's so cool. So instead of actually having an IK like F or FK controller, now you have a spring chain that allows you to have a damping effect. And this dampening effect or stiffness, you can basically tweak to actually have it more flaily or more stiff. It's a different way of controlling animation, but it allows you to have free overlap on your, in this case, geometry. Really cool. Love it. It's so cool. The little things that make you happy as an animator. Okay, so let's move on to the upper body. You have controllers for the vest and you have controllers for the upper and lower body. So I'm pretty sure this allows you to rotate, move the upper body. So this is an IK chain on the back, and allows you to go forward and back if you want to, like this. And then if you want to rotate, you have a rotate controller that allows you to rotate the upper body as you wish. So with those two controllers, you can actually get the movement that you want. Now when you get the movement that you want, you can go ahead and move this vest with this just one controller if you want to make sure that it's in the place that you want. And then this is the one that allows you to kind of like tweak the vest as you are bending the character. And this one selects the whole vest, and this one does the bottom part of the vest, and this one does the upper part of the vest. Makes sense. Okay, yeah. So yeah, not too far off. This is really cool. Now you have also controllers, FK controllers for this string here. Make sure that it moves around. Really, really cool. And then you also have these controllers for the hoodie to make sure that you can move the hoodie around as you wish. Controls for the neck. You have an FK chain, but I'm guessing this is more of a IK chain for the... Yeah, exactly. So if you select these two, you can actually move his neck as you wish. And then ultimately, we have the forming face right here, which is really cool. The Emilio just added the same thing as in the pouch, but he added it to the hoodie and also the little strings here of the hoodie. So whenever you move them, you get free movement right there. I don't have caching enabled, so this is why it's kind of like slow, but you can see that free movement there. Super easy, man. Emilio is just making your life so easy. Okay, so let's see. We have the mouth controller. We also have the upper head controller here. This controls the whole head as you are moving it. We have another controller here at the bottom that allows you to move the whole thing together. And I believe you probably have tweak visibility. It's on fire control visibility. Okay, so on. Yeah, so we can actually control these fire bits here on his head as we wish. And then we also have facial control visibility. That's the stuff that I was looking for. Cool. So now we have a lower jaw, upper jaw movement. And this is all like really flexible, as you can see here. And we also have tweaks for the eyebrows, and look at this. This is just so organic. Look at that. Like I tell you, like whenever you find somebody, a rigger that is by your side, that is like, you know, a really talented person. This, Emily is also an animator, by the way, but like this makes your life so much easier, and it just makes it a breeze to animate things and to have fun doing it. There's nothing worse than having a rig limiting your creativity. So having something like this where you have options upon options, it means that everybody's happy with the rig, right? So yeah, Emilio gives you plenty of options here, which is really cool. Now let's quickly have a look at what we have for the bike and also the chain. So the bike has really cool controllers. So whenever you move this pedal, rotate it here, whenever you move this main controller here, it moves the whole chain and the pedals at once, right? Which is really cool. And then what's even nicer is that here on that foot, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it has this controller here that allows you to have the IK added to your pedals, which now allows me to basically set the foot on a specific place like here, and then move the pedals only, and then the foot moves with the pedal, right? Look at that. Once again, Emilio making everybody's life easy. We also have like individual controllers for the chain to actually make sure that the chain kind of goes up and down. So as you are rotating it and you have that rotating move, you can also have this thing, you know, when you're actually going over bumps, the chain of the bike just moves around. So this allows you to actually get that detail of the chain moving, which is cool. Now you have other things as well to give you more overlap on the bike. So things like this and like this. make sure that you actually get overlapping action as you are moving the pedals. You have controllers for the front wheel, for the back wheel. You can rotate them at the same time. You can bend the metal if you want to make sure that things are super cartoony. If you go to the front of the bike, you even have controllers for you making sure that you can brake and use that brake controller, and you can, move this around again to make sure that you have that nice overlapping action as you go through. Then you have rotating actions. You can create grab both controllers and then rotate them as you wish, which is really cool. Emilio even gave you a way for you to change the height of the bike so it fits different characters of different sizes as you are animating it, which is really nice. So that is the bike, and then let's go quickly to the chain as a last hurrah. Let's just go and do that. Off, and the chain, it's kind of simple, but once again Emilio gives you options. So you have an IK chain and an FK chain all at once in one, so you can move it all together. You have some options here in the X like everything else. Length control, you can go ahead and change the length of your chain if you want to. As you can see here, you can just move that number on your channel box and it becomes either longer or shorter if you want to. IK visibility on, they're both on right now, so if you have a preference, you go ahead and just go FK only or maybe IK only, and then basically they just show up. Tip size, once again, you can make it bigger like this, really thick, or really small if you like. So the base size is basically the opposite of what you had before. Tweak visibilities, once again, Emilio just giving you options. You can make sure that this is actually more tweakable, even more than what it was there before. And then tangent visible and tweak visibility, it kind of gives you everything at once. So you have so much, and you also have spin controls to make sure that you can actually go side to side. So this rig is absolutely epic. As you can see, it has so many options for you guys, and I think that it's a shame there's not more animations out there featuring this rig, because there's so much that you can do with it, right? So go ahead, download the rig, it's free, downloads below, also links to the M Gear below. If you find any future M Gear rigs, you can still use them with this plugin. And that's all I had for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Massive thanks to my Patreons as always for the monthly support every single month. Check out my Patreon if you'd like to join, and I hope I see you guys next week. Until then, stay well, stay safe. Peace.